Hello, Patty here, the country wife from Vermont, now living in South Carolina. How was your week? I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope everything went well and that everybody was happy in your family, that you were happy and you accomplished good things, that your health was good, and that you were working on your organization and your other projects. It has been a good week here, and some things not so fine, but I will talk about those in a bit. Well, let me talk about the health things first. I told you last week that I got a continuous glucose monitor to help me stay more accountable for my eating. And this week, one of my organization projects was that I had two flatbed knitting machines that a friend was willing to take. And I hadn't used them, and she could use them, and she's 30 years younger than I am or more, and she could use them and have a wonderful time with them. So I arranged to meet her parents and gave those to her folks to deliver to her. She lives in West Virginia. They live in North Carolina. Anyway, so I took them with me and I met them at the temple. And as I was shutting the door, you know how sometimes when you take something out of the car, you've got it in your hand, with one hand, with your back hand, you shut the door behind you. Well, I did that, and the door caught my arm and ripped the monitor out. It was not a fun experience. But you know, it was no killing affair. That's the way it went. And so I spent time on the phone talking with the doctor to find out, you know, what do I do? Obviously, I had to pull it all the rest of the way out because it was very annoying. I could feel the little prong there on my skin. Anyway, long story short, that evening, my kind husband attached the new one, and it seems to be working. Well, it is working, and I'm happy. I went kind of haywire food-wise for a couple of days, and now I'm back on the wagon. Okay, so organization things. Now those two knitting machines are gone. I did acquire some books this week. I think 4 new books. 2 of them were from thrift books, and I think that they just gave them to me as bonus books because I didn't order them. But they were things that one was on very easy cable knitting, and the other one was about weaving, off-loom weaving or something like that. Anyway, that was a good thing. So we'll talk about books a little bit later. So, finished projects. I am happy to report that I did finish this Finest Kind sweater. It is done. And my husband has worn it. And I just now found it up on a coat hanger in his closet. So I'm gonna have to talk to him about coat hangers and wool clothes. But I am thrilled. You know, there's many problems with this, but it fits him and he's happy with it. So I'm happy too. So that's number one. That was the first one done. And a friend is having a birthday next week, and I haven't seen her much lately. So I decided to make her a little mug rug, a coaster kind of thing. It's probably about 6 inches by 6 inches. And the pattern is called Pair of Hearts on Ravelry. And I don't remember how much it was, but I've made a bunch of these before. And this one was using I Love This Cotton by Hobby Lobby. And I used a US 5 knitting needle. This is mosaic. So it's a color work, but you only work one color on each row. You work over and back in one color. Then you pick up the other color and you slip to make the design. You use the next color, and you slip some of the stitches of the previous color. So anyway, and then you go back through, you have to slip stitches with the yarn in front for part of them when you're going back the other direction, but on the first direction, you slip stitches with the yarn in back. And once you get that in your head, you can do beautiful things. So this, I'm thrilled that these are done. This one is done, and I'll give it to her next week. Those are the only things, the only knitted things that I have completed this week. A project that I did this week that I completed was I wanted to roast some beets. Beets are supposed to be fabulous for your health. They increase the nitric oxide in your body. I think that's what it is. I've heard enough things. I can't tell you exactly, but they are supposed to make your veins more supple, and you get more oxygen and blood going where it's supposed to go. Well, anyway, I wanted to roast some beets because I'm not really fond of beets, and I roasted some beets. I cooked them. I put them in a foil-lined pan, and I wrapped foil around them after scrubbing them up, and then put them in the oven at 400 for an hour, and they came out, and they were a good texture, but I just had my first part of one of the beets, and I still don't like beets, but I am going to force myself to eat them, and I won't force my husband to eat them, but I will give him the option. My guess is he won't eat even a bite, but this time that's fine because I don't like them either. Okay, started projects this week. I started, let's see if I can do this. I can show you. Can you tell what that's going to be? It's very hard to tell because there's only a little bit of it done. But this is actually going to be a fox. It's called Roxy Fox. The pattern was by Knit Picks, and it was years and years ago. I made a wolf. Oh my goodness. I might possibly be making this fox for the same grandchild. Oh, isn't that a funny thing? I'll have to look back and see if I can find out if I wrote notes in Ravelry. Anyway, but that is on the go. Also, another thing, I am working on this rectangular granny blanket, and you can see I've moved on to the second color. So my thought is that I'm taking often when I do a scrap project, I start with the smallest pieces of yarn and use them. This one I use nearly full skeins, and so I'm going to keep going until it's a good size. I think I looked up that it might be a good size for a lap blanket is like 50 inches by 60 inches. We'll see. I don't know how far I will get on how big this will be, but I'm thrilled that I'm making progress. And this is now my scripture knitting. I'm crocheting. So I'm working on this every morning when I'm listening to scriptures or general conference talks. So so I do at least 15 or 20 minutes every day of that. So that's done. I told you about a test knit for a vest that I started, and here we are. The ribbing is coming along. I need 2 more rounds, and then I'm done the ribbing, and I can start the actual pattern work. And I will be glad. And this morning when my friends were here for our handwork chat group, I said maybe I might have been well advised to have listened to my husband when he suggested that I not do this test knit. It's not that he minds me doing it, it's just that he knows that it can be stressful. I have to have this done by the 1st of November, and I am thinking today being the 19th of September, I'm going to have to work at least 2 hours a day to get that thing done. I'm pretty sure. But okay, so there's that and that. I'm going to keep going on it though. Another thing, so I met a lady who wants to learn how to crochet, and so I decided, okay, I'm gonna make her a project bag. So here's the project bag. It's not very good, and I don't have a handle on it yet. I'm probably gonna try making another one so it'll be better. But in this one, I also made a little tool thing with vinyl, and so she can see that her tools are in there. So what we've got is we've got some needles to put them together with. There's a crochet hook, which is a 5mm crochet hook, and some cute little scissors, which I hope are going to be good. Anyway, this didn't turn out very well either, so if I can, before I go to see her, I'm going to make another one of those. And I have gotten this book, and I'm sure it's going to be reading backwards, Crocheting for Dummies, because I started doing this so that I can be sure that my phone is recording, so I don't do a whole podcast and not have it record. I decided to have the video facing me, so I know that it's recording. Anyway, and I found that by doing that, then the writing is backwards. If someone knows how not to have that happen, I would love to know. But also I got these little things, crocheted flowers handout from Hobby Lobby, and then the granny square handout from Hobby Lobby. So those are current things. And when I asked her if she had any favorite colors, she said red, white, and blue. So I got these, which is kind of more of a cranberry, an ivory, and a navy. So I think those will be good. I feel happy I've gotten those for her, and I'm hoping. Oh my goodness. Things fall. I keep telling myself, okay, you've got to pick up things immediately and take care of things immediately. Then you've got them. For example, yesterday when I went over to Hobby Lobby, and I'd stopped someplace. I stopped for some food, and when I got to Hobby Lobby, my little money clip was not in my purse. So I went about haywire, and I walked back. I left all my stuff at the counter, and I walked back to the truck and found the money clip. I didn't see it immediately. It wasn't where I thought it would be. So anyway, so now I've recommitted to doing this, putting things away immediately. So, okay, let's see. So zipper bag. Another thing that happened this week is when I was trying to do the sewing, the needle kept falling out of the needle, I don't know what you call it, the holder that holds the needles. And this was on my mother's beautiful white 305 sewing machine. It's a wonderful heavy duty machine. I love that machine, but I do 2 or 3 stitches and the needle would fall out. I tried everything I could. So anyway, I went over to the So Happy sewing machine repair guy, and he stopped eating his lunch right then, and he got up and he fixed it. It took a little doing, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and he got it. And then we found there were some other problems. So since that has not probably had a servicing since 1987, it is probably time. So I left it with him, and he's gonna fix it. So I came home, and I still wanted to finish these sewing projects. And I got out the little plastic Brother LB 5000 that I have, and immediately broke a needle. And so that's why I went out yesterday, was to get some needles at Hobby Lobby. But in the meantime, I ordered some needles online, and they just came. So I've got a little packet with a whole bunch of needles in it, 50 needles there. And then here's another packet with higher quality needles. So I now have enough needles to do just about whatever I need to do. Let me see. Oh, the one good thing is that after breaking the needle on the Brother machine, I downloaded their manual because I thought, okay, so something I'm doing is wrong. And I found actually probably the thing is that I had bent a needle before and then it broke. But they had a wonderful chart on fabrics and what size needles to use for that fabric and what size thread to use for that fabric. And this is the first time in 75 years that I grasped it. I didn't realize that you use different needles for different, well, I did know that you used like a 16 or an 18 if you're using denim, and you can see I've used denim. But the other ones I didn't know. So now I know, and I made a little picture of it so I can take it with me. So when I go shopping, I get the right things. But I do have enough needles now for a while, I would say. Wouldn't you? I think I do. Okay, let me see. Another thing that you could call it finished. It's not. I have this fiber. This is the Lonk fiber. And I wanted to use Easter egg tablets to dye yarn with because I'd heard they go very well. And I just smelled it because I wanted to make sure I could smell the vinegar on it because you have to have vinegar the acid helps stick the dye to the fiber. So this was on our deck in our solar dyeing for probably 2 weeks. And actually you can see there's different colors here. I just put all the tablets in at once, and when I went out to shake up, of course, they all went together. But I love green, so in fact, I'm moving from blue to green. I'm hoping to have more green clothing soon. Anyway, so that's the story on that. So one of these days soon, I will put this on the drum carder and prepare it for spinning. And one last thing. So last week you will have noticed that number one, I didn't start the video the way I normally do. And then I had a phone call in the middle and it cut off the recording. And so I thought that it just paused it. And so when I got done with the phone call, I picked it up, but it started at 0. So then I hadn't quite finished the video. So I did the finish up part. But I couldn't figure out how to put the two videos together. So one of my little friends, who's NJ, told me I could come over to his house, and he is a teenager, a young teenager. He has his own video channel, and he's had 700,000 views of his channel. Can you imagine that? Oh my goodness, I am thrilled for him. It's a gaming thing, so I'm not interested in gaming at all, but I'm interested in him, and I'm thrilled that his project is going. So he knew how to do it. He told me to get the app CapCut and put it on my phone and put it on my computer. And so he taught me how to do it. And if you watched last week's video, episode 25, once we got that together, and yes, last night I posted it, and this morning it showed up, and it's episode 25, parts 1 and 2. And he showed me how to put them together and then to have a little tiny transition between the two. And I don't know if you think it was successful, but I was thrilled to get it as good as it was. So maybe I can do that again. And maybe I ought to do some little videos and then putting clips together just for the fun of it. We'll see. Don't hold your breath. That might be a good thing to do for when I want to give little tiny, demonstrations or tutorials on some things that I've learned. Because, this video is just me talking about things and showing off what I'm doing and working on and helping me stay honest and accountable for my projects and moving forward with things rather than sitting in my chair reading or lying on my bed reading or sitting in the upstairs room where the TV is and watching YouTube videos that teach me all kinds of things, but then I don't get them done. So this channel is to help me do those things and to share it with family and friends. So that's what I'm doing. But I'm thinking that to make it more useful to people, I should have little demonstrations on how to do things. For example, I could have showed you how I did this, but I didn't. But I'll tell you right now, quick as a bunny, is I wetted the fiber, and I put several pellets from the Easter egg dye in the bottom of a jar. Then I put this part of this in. I put some more pellets on top, and then I put the rest of it in, and the final batch of pellets I put in on the top. And there were like 5 in each box, so there were 10 different pellets, all different colors, and this is what I got. And then I filled it with water, and I put in vinegar at the top to help it set up the color. So we'll see if this actually works. But anyway, that's my little demo from today. So that's it for today. I hope that there's been something that has been interesting to you. And at the bare minimum, I'm hoping that my children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, after I'm gone, will have this to look back on and say, that was my grandmother, and isn't she a crazy person? Or whatever they might think. I totally wish that I had something that I had my parents talking to me, that I could hear their voices and see their faces as they told me things. That would have been so wonderful. So I want my posterity to have that opportunity. So that's why I do this. I told you I'm not trying to do this for monetization, even though I did have a son years ago tell me, you should do that, Mom, but I didn't. I had too many other things to do until now. So anyway, so that's it. Have a great week. Send me comments, email me if you want. Go to my Country Wife blog. Hopefully I post those on Facebook. In the last week, I haven't done very well on that. And so today I need to do that too. Anyway, best of wishes for a good week. Do good. Be good. Let's do it now together. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Bye now.